Welcome back to Streaming Media 2025. I'm Doug Daulton, and we're here at the Fairmont Miramar in sunny Santa Monica, California. I'm here with Brandon Stewart of Brandon Studios.
Brandon Studios, yeah. Brandon TV, the whole 9 yards.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So where do you want me to start?
From
the beginning.
Yeah, what was the inception?
I was born in 1995. No, I'm kidding. So Brandon Studios was originated in 2023. Prior to that, we were an agency. We serviced talent. We were focused on social media. And now, because of all the experience I had, not only kind of doing it on my own, but prior to that, working with Awesomeness TV. Have you ever heard of Awesomeness TV?
I have.
Digital company back in the day. They're still thriving. So I learned kind of how to go viral at that time, and utilizing a lot of my expertise there, I was able to kind of build my own brand and kind of branch out on my own. And so now we've got 120 million active users across all of our 63 channels. One of those channels is a paywall of $5.99 that we call Brandon TV. And we just bought, as of 10 months ago, a 30,000 square foot studio with 2 sound stages that we call Brandon Studios, which is kind of like our home.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So you're living the dream.
Well, sort of. It's a little stressful, I'm not going to lie.
Nobody said dreams aren't stressful.
That's true.
That's very true. You got to do some work and put some skin in the game if you're going to be successful.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So tell me what you guys are working on now.
So our heavy focus right now is reality television. Do you watch reality TV?
I do.
Okay. So, the whole world of like Love Island and all of the things that are becoming very popular, we're actually taking some of the legacy stars from back in the day from shows like Dance Moms and Bring It and Little Women, and we're bringing them back into the forefront. So we're kind of giving them a second swing at, I would say, at a career on television. And so we're taking their captive audiences that they've already built, we're marrying it with the audiences that we have, and we're creating content that's very interactive, it's very gamified, and it kind of allows the fans at home to be involved in the story-making process.
So are you using, what techniques are you using to kind of engage people and bring them in?
A lot of techniques. I would say, kind of like I said, I would say the biggest one that I think the industry is still not completely harnessing is interactivity. I think what makes us so successful is the fact that we're able to have an idea on Monday, produce it by Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's out by Thursday, Friday. The fans obviously love that. It's easier when we've got talent that's in our backyard, but we also produce in Atlanta, Georgia, we produce in Houston, Texas, we produce in Jackson, Mississippi, Los Angeles, of course. And so we'll actually go to the talent as well. And I think that's what makes us very unique, is because we're actually listening to the audience and we are curating content around what they want to see.
And how are you talk about how you're doing the interactive piece?
Yeah. So we're constantly scraping comments online. I know you guys, not only do we all live in the comments online, but sometimes, unfortunately, we listen maybe it's a little too heavy to the comments online. But for us, we want to harness that and kind of utilize that in a positive way. And so if somebody's saying they want to see Susie Q, on a particular season because she really made the cast great, then we'll go out and we'll find Susie Q and we'll make a deal and we'll bring her on the show. It's the same thing with storylines, whether it be scripted. If they're really looking for you to have a conversation with me again because they really like this interview, that we would make this happen again, whether it be next week or the week following. So it's really just about kind of scraping those comments. We also have a very active social media vertical on our streaming app as well. We've got hundreds of thousands of users that are active. We actually just last month, I've not released this yet, but we just hit 2.2 million active subscribers last month on our streaming app. Yeah, thank you so much. So we are growing very, very fast. And it's been fun. And I think when you give the power back to, as we're seeing even with AI, when you give the power back to the people at home, it empowers them to be involved and to create. And to kind of,
And so it sounds like kind of at the core, you're mining that most atomic user-generated content in the form of comments,
yes.
Right? And then letting that bubble up how you should build direct comment or new content creation?
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely, that's a very fair statement.
Can you talk, you mentioned AI, is AI a part of that process?
AI is sort of a part of the process, honestly. We're testing a lot of different verticals within AI. We're also trying to be conscientious of, being fair to talent as well, because we don't want to, overexpose us to too much AI and lean on AI that's not really fair for whether it be talent or whether it be editors, for example, or other key players in our organization. But AI is not going away, and so we're trying to find ways that we can utilize it to kind of create more efficiency, but also, again, be fair to the market.
So that's really interesting because it's ethical AI that respects the creator.
Yes.
Is kind of a passion project for me, right? And thinking about how you do that. It sounds like you guys are forward on that. You're trying to respect your talent, trying to make sure that you're using AI in a way that respects the talent, maybe is a bit of a force multiplier for them.
You nailed it. Yeah.
And while at the same time using it to make your bottom line more efficient.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
That's a very fair statement. And what I love about that being your mission right now is, like I said, it's not going away. And one thing that we made sure that we did when we brought the talent from their respective networks prior is we actually gave them residuals. So now these unscripted stars who have never had residuals before, if they had the same residuals that Jennifer Aniston did on Friends, people like an Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms would never have to work again, respectfully, right? And so that's why I think it's really important to protect the talent, not only the talent, but the producers and the team behind the camera too, so that when AI does come, there's still ways for them to be monetizing off the content that they made years ago.
Well, and that was like when the writer strike happened. I have
Yep.
friends in LA who were screenwriters. And
Where are you from?
I'm based out of Spokane now, but I'm originally,
Okay.
but spent a lot of time working in Vegas and then some time in LA as well. So, but I have friends that were like really freaking out, and rightly so. And my position then was AI's coming, it's going to be great long term for the industry, but absolutely the guilds need to be standing up for the talent, whether it's the writers or the actors, and making sure those terms and deals get locked down now, because otherwise, it takes one bad actor to set the stage.
And by the way, it's not just our industry, as you all know. I mean, how many times have we gone to ChatGPT and asked them a legal question, right? It's just a normal thing. I think everybody's just leaning on AI for support and assistance in any vertical. And I think we just have to be conscientious on, as we're harnessing it, understanding that there's still human beings out there that need to be employed, that need to also contribute to.
Well, and it's not just employing the human beings for employment's sake. Having that human in the middle, or having the human behind the AI, or the AI supporting the human.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
That's a really good point.
Because I think a lot of the argument comes down to like, well, you got to move forward with efficiency, and maybe that's going to cost jobs. But I just saw an interview with James Cameron talking about how he's accelerating his application of AI in his VFX pipeline. And he's like, this isn't, people think it's going to take jobs away. It's not. It's going to make the best people more efficient.
Yeah.
They'll get more work, they'll get more jobs.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kind of grunt work will get taken care of for them.
That's the hope, right?
Now, there's an honest conversation to be had about whether or not replacing that grunt work, impacts the pipeline of talent coming up.
Yes.
So we have to have that conversation.
Yes.
But in the long term, I think those problems will get solved.
Yeah.
And it'll be a benefit for everybody.
Well, could you imagine if we had AI in school when we were like solving math equations? I would be dumb as a box of rocks.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So I have a 15 and 17-year-old,
Okay.
right? And I have a family ChatGPT account, and I'm very strict about how they use it, teaching them how to use it
Monitoring
ethically.
it.
Well, not so much monitoring, because I like to think I did a pretty good job, and I don't have to, ride herd
Be
on
over
them.
their shoulder, of course.
But they actually don't want to use it as much, right? They want to use it in a very targeted way because they want to establish their own skill set, right?
Okay.
And so they're using it to research, but not necessarily to write.
But do you trust our whole society to do that?
Well, ultimately, yes. But I think we have to incentivize it.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? If we don't incentivize it, there's a really fascinating guy, if you're not already following him, Mo Godot, former CTO of Google X. And he's one of the best speakers about this topic around. And he's basically like, AI's not going anywhere.
Nope.
There are definite risks with bad actors, and we just have to set the tone to make sure that the good actors win.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's a kind of a focus.
I love that. I love that. And to kind of wrap it all up too, that's really kind of why I'm here. I feel like I'm kind of a part of the younger Hollywood generation that's coming in and is kind of helping kind of shepherd the new era. And like I said, AI is not going away.
Right.
And it's time to start embracing the new age instead of pushing it out. And that's why I think unions are important. That's why I think fathers like this guy are very important as well, because it's all about harnessing it in the right way.
Yep, exactly. So let's wrap it up. What's one major trend? Maybe we've already touched on it. But what's one major trend you think everybody in the industry should be thinking about over the next 18 months?
I mean, it's hard not to say AI, but let me try to say something else so we can, I think something in the industry as a content creator also is social media. I would say if you guys out there are not creating on social media, even if you're just, someone who owns a boutique shop or someone who has their own product and is working out of their living room, or a content creator, there's a lot of ways to get out in front of people and to teach people about your product, about your content, and to get them involved in what you're doing. I actually started in music. By the way, I don't know if I had mentioned to you prior, but I was on American Idol in season 12.
Oh yeah, that's right. I knew you were.
Yeah. So in that process too, like the music industry has changed significantly. And so my biggest motivation, and I guess my biggest takeaway for everyone there at home, people here, is to just continue to push and to utilize the social media kind of world as a conduit to what you want to do. Don't be scared of it, lean into it, and allow yourself and your voice to be heard.
I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
I'm Doug Daulton for Streaming Media. This has been Brandon Stewart of Brandon Studios. We'll see you next time.